Traditions and customs are national treasure. Kazakh people observe traditions over many centuries. The great steppe is an amulet of the country. You can watch the customs and traditions of the Kazakhs in the modern Nomads program.
The
land of South Kazakhstan is special. You can also note that the landscape is specific. Somewhere you can see the mountains and then the flat land is spread away. Later you can find even a sea. In this region you can also find rivers and lakes as well as high mountains. Cliffs, beams and ravines are also present in these areas. Moreover, you can find magic of nature. There are caves and slits that can excite people. Sacred Turkestan is also situated here. Also, this part of our country is close to the east. We're close to the people of the east of the front of Asia. There are many old town remains and the heritage from the ancient times. The center of the ancient towns, and Shymkent's residents keep traditions and cultural elements very attentively.
Салт дәстүрге өзі бекем халық.
Our south region is not only rich of the historical sites, but also keeps traditions very strongly. As our hero says, Shymkent is a city that exercises traditions actively and keeps cultural roots. Also, it is the cross of the 9 roads. Here, the Kazakh culture and traditions are saved in their original version. The child's whole life, starting from cutting the umbilical cord until the end of his or her life, is full of traditions and customs. These customs and traditions have deep roots only in this amazing Shymkala.
Ақсақал, біздің енді дана. О, бастан бүкіл даналық мынау шежіре қария дейміз ғой. Осы шежіре қариялар.
We call old men aksakal, white beard, and they are associated with wisdom, heritage, and support. They start the weddings by giving their blessing. They share their best wishes and advices. At the bride's farewell party, they see her off and kiss her forehead. The school of aksakals has been continuing since ancient times. It can also be called the school of wisdom. Also, compared with other cities, in Shymkent there is a high density of the population. Maybe this fact also has its impact. Overall, the land, the ground of Shymkent was very nourishing for the development of customs and traditions. This is the center of traditions, the only one of this kind in all of Kazakhstan. The aim of the center is to exalt the forgotten customs and traditions of the Kazakh culture and to promote the traditions. Also to study them, as traditions are regarded as the heritage of our nation. There is so much to be done by this newly found center. Several documentary films have been made till now. The Kazakh traditions are described one by one. The museum was also opened and the exhibits related to the traditions are being collected. So many visitors come here. They have huge intention to learn how their ancestors lived and which traditions they followed.
Орталықта енді 36 адам жұмыс істейді.
36 employees work at the center. The research and the fund departments, their staff travel a lot and collect ancient cultural heritage items. Also, we have a research and methodology department as well. Their work, the researchers' work, is to visit libraries and collect needed materials, apart from the performance times. Also, they meet with the old men, talk to them, and try to note down and collect the stories they share.
материал жинайды. Сосын елдегі мына көнөгөз қарияларды.
Moreover, we have here our so-called mothers clubs. Also, there are mothers ensembles and grandmothers ensembles. It is called Beautiful Grandmothers. We're in close connection with them, because sometimes it is more effective when the elderly women go to the needed place and talk about our traditions, and the youth would go instead.
Жерде әдет ғұрып туралы айтқан насихатынан гөрі үлкен аналардың айтқан насихат өтімділеу болады.
Traditions are the big field to study, thus this topic needs the thorough research to be undertaken. It is in need of social and informative support and promotion. The fact that it was built in Shymkent is a big gift to the Kazakh nation's spiritual and cultural development. The center employees share that they have plans to meet with school pupils and explain the Kazakh traditions. They even want to include it into the stay program in which students could learn from the wise elderly.
Республика бойынша жалғыз ғимарат, мемлекет шынымен үлкен көңіл болып, салт дәстүрге.
This is the only one building in the whole republic. The state paid big attention to the traditions and built this center for us. The center plays a big role. Its aim is to save the customs and traditions that have been experienced by the nation for centuries. And also it has a goal to keep it and present to the future generation. Also, this center is a research center. We've been gathering such research professionals here.
Ғылыми зерттеу орталығы болу керек. Соған мамандар тартып жатырмыз. 36 салт дәстүр.
We have made small films constituting of 36 chapters with the Kazakhstan Shymkent TV channel. On the one hand, our main goal and intention is to turn this center into the spiritual center of the city of Shymkent and of the South Kazakhstan Oblast. We are working on this as well.
Орталыққа біртіндеп айналдыру. Бұл жағдайда да жұмыс жасап жатырмыз.
The 21st century is the time of the state with the strong traditions and the culture. Not like it was before, today only the country that has kept its customs and traditions is developing in diverse ways. There are also many countries that lost their customs and forgot their traditions. No one admires such a nation, while the nations that can be distinguished from others by their own traditions will flourish. Because only the nation that revived their traditions and also saved their customs can be called an eternal nation.
Кез келген адам ойлауы мүмкін, мен салт дәстүрді білем ғой деп. Бұлай сырттай білу бар да, оның ғылыми тұрғыда оның қайдан шықты.
Anyone can think that he or she knows the traditions, but knowing in general is different from knowing in a scientific way. How did it originate? What is the meaning and the structure of this tradition?
Қазақ халқының анау түйеге мініп арбайдаған заманнан бергі келе жатқан салт дәстүрі, әдет ғұрпы бүгінгі ғарыш дәуірінде де маңызын жойған жоқ, жоймайды да.
Kazakh nation's traditions and customs that took place in those times when they rode camels and used carts did not lose their importance in today's time of spacecrafts, the new 21st century. And they will never lose their importance. Any nation's peculiar characteristics as the nation's so-called national identity lies in the basis of these traditions. Of course, we should learn and know other traditions, ethnicities, and any foreign art and culture. However, we should not be swallowed by the strong waves of the countries which culture had been developed before ours. Here the traditions play the role of spiritual pro-action for our nation.
салт дәстүріміз, әдет ғұрпымыз халықтың бір өзінің рухани қорғаныс бетті.
Kazakh traditions are closely connected with the agriculture and the nation's domestic way of life. That is why our ancestors did not forget the traditions while riding the horses and camels masterly. Traditions cannot be done by hands or come from the ideas. It is the result of the thousands of years. This is the heritage that was developed during many centuries and finally, strongly and deeply absorbed into everyday lives. It cannot even be separated from the lives of our people. It turned into the whole reality. This could be said as specific traits of our traditions.
Қазақ салт дәстүрінің бір ерекшелігі біздің исламға дейінгі наным сенімнен туған салт дәстүр әдет ғұрып.
The specifics of the Kazakh traditions and customs, the ones that were there before Islam came and those after the 9th century when Islam spread widely, do not contradict each other. On the contrary, all of them grew together. There are two ways of the tradition's promotion. The traditions are like our ornaments. As our craftsmen and artists say, we do not have any right to change or add anything to the ornaments. Because today I will add something, and tomorrow another master will do the same. Then all our ornaments will change after time passes. The tradition should also be strictly saved like this. It cannot be styled too much.
Бұны өте бір стилизацияға апарып оған болмайды.
We do not note the traditions that our ancestors had in our everyday life since they so deeply went into our blood. But it is a spiritual heritage that needs to be studied. It is not a coincidence the center undertakes research work. The Nomads' life from the cradle to the grave is full of traditions. It is the art critics and cultural critics' role to deeply investigate into it and study each tradition thoroughly. From this point, the Shymkent Center of Traditions is the first school.
Жаңа айтып отқан әдет ғұрып салт дәстүрдің бәрі протоколда. Қонақ күтуіміз.
All customs and traditions are like protocol. For instance, how we meet guests. The preparations start from the minute we hear that a guest will come. The waiting process starts. Then they are met. After it, they are given the most respected top place in the house. Later, there is the process of serving food that, scientifically speaking, has its own semantics. Then the conversation of the guest and the host, how the host conducts himself. In all of this, there is etiquette.
Келген қонаққа су құю, қолына су құю. Әлгі ілеген, шылапшынды алып алып, қолымызға жаңа орамалды алып алып, су құямыз ғой. Оның өзі, су құюдың өзінде.
The pouring water for the guest. We take big bowls, prepare towels, and start pouring the water. This is also etiquette. While pouring the water, it should be not so cold or not so hot. While the water poured after the meat was eaten should be a bit hotter. And how do you pour the water, and in what order? Then we should note the table etiquette. You know that when you are small while sitting at the table, your attention is at the guest cup and your mother who is serving the tea, because the guest tea should not be finished. The guest should not have to wait for you with his hands stretched. You should take and pass the cup in time. The Kazakh traditions are a big philosophy. There's a custom of pouring the wine on the head of the snake that came into the house. The researcher says that it is a Kazakh custom that came from their wish for peace. The snake in nature is the enemy of the humankind. but the traditions of seeing off such an enemy with milk or sour milk is truly a sign of wisdom. There are many such customs with a deep meaning that came from our ancestors. To study them is the duty of today's generation.